Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to part 35 of the Sea of Stars walkthrough. This part is all about one trophy called What a Technique, and we get it by defeating 10 bosses using the Artful Gambit relic. We're going to do this on New Game Plus, which means we get to carry over a lot of things, including all of our relics. We'll definitely be using the Amulet of Storytelling to increase our max HP, and we'll auto heal after combat. That's pretty nice. Guardian Aura reduces damage taken by 30%. We'll definitely have that one on. We don't need Sequent Flare because I don't need to know exact timings of things. True Strike Pendant will remove the damage resistance enemies have while casting. We don't need that one on, but I'll have it on anyway. The Tome of Knowledge we'll have on just for more XP. Falcon-Eyed Parrot, that one we don't need, but we'll have it on anyway, as with Salient Sails. Gold Tooth increases our gold, that's good. Sixth Sense gives us an increased chance of blocking even if we miss a normal timed block, so we'll have that one on. We don't want the Adamant Shard on because that one is counterproductive to what we're trying to do. We can have on the fishing reels and lines, that's fine. Our trophy is all about this one, Artful Gambit. It reduces our HP by 95%. Enemies are invincible while casting, but timed blocks reduce damage coming into us to just 1, and timed hit bonus damage is 2 times. So we're going to turn this on only when we're about to fight a boss, and then we'll turn it back off again. So we'll have that one on. And then Double Edge increases enemy defense bonus while casting. Well, they're already invincible, so that doesn't matter. But it also decreases enemy defense when they're not casting, so that's good. And Dubious Dare just increases damage by 40%. We don't want that one on. It makes it harder for us. So Artful Gambit and Double Edge will turn on when it's time to fight a boss. But for now, let's just turn them off. Okay, once we feel good about everything, let's go ahead and get started with New Game Plus. We're going to set up a camp, and we need to make a save file that we're going to load in order to start the New Game Plus. So we'll go save our game, and we're going to just choose any slot. Doesn't really matter. I'll just choose slot number 1 for this. Took me just over 33 hours to do everything so far in the game, and now we're going to go back to the title screen. And once we're here, we're going to select New Game Plus from the menu. And we're going to load the save that we just created. Well, I did the whole first playthrough as Zale, so now I'm going to give some love to Valere and do the New Game Plus run with her. So we start off with the normal cutscenes. We have the whole intro, if you remember what that looked like, but we can do it a lot faster because we're not interested in the story. We can hold down R1 and X just like the ending credits, and we can fly through this dialogue a whole lot easier. So you can either just spam it by hitting X if you want to give your thumb a little bit of exercise, or you can just skip the dialogue to make it go a lot faster. This is not going to be a full New Game Plus run. I'm just going to chop up the little pieces that I want to highlight, and I'll just show you only the boss fights or if there's something interesting. So you don't have to watch the whole thing again, me running through the areas. I trust you can do that on your own pretty well at this point, and I just want to highlight the boss only portion. So it's mostly just a boss rush at this point. Okay, I jumped ahead to the part of the Forbidden Cavern where we encounter a little bit of equipment. I'm just going to open up this, but we don't want to equip the Adventurer's Vest. We have all of our ultimate equipment still remaining in our inventory. So I'm just going to go ahead and start putting things on everyone. I think that there's a few pieces of equipment that are very important to do. Number 1 is Leeching Thorn, and that will heal us by 15% of the damage that we do. Well, we're going to do a ton of damage, and we'll have very low HP, so it's basically a full heal every time. And then we also want to put on the Moonstone Bracer for Valere, just so that we can use Lunar Shield easier. Reaper's Mercy is very important because it allows us to live even if we would normally die from an attack, as long as we have over 50% HP. So that's really good. We can do the Celestial Ray on Zale. That's going to help us out a little bit. The Helical Earrings are really nice for him as well. That way we can do full damage with our Sunball attack. And something like the Magic Pocket is also good for this. That way we can use a healing item if we need to without wasting a turn, and that will come in pretty handy if we're struggling for HP, but that probably won't happen too much. We'll turn on the Amulet of Storytelling to make things easier, as well as the Guardian Aura. The True Strike Pendant will also turn on. We'll keep on Tome of Knowledge. These ones don't really matter. Gold Tooth can be on. Sixth Sense is very important. Let's go ahead and put that one on as well. The Adamant Shard we do not want on. And Artful Gambit and Double Edge. Those are the ones that will turn on only when it's boss fight time. So now we're going to skip ahead a little bit to another place where we can get some equipment. I would only recommend getting this treasure chest because it has something very important in it. We can really skip the rest of the treasure chests in the game. We got the Leeching Thorn. So we have one for Valere. That's the one that heals us when we attack. So let's also put that one on to Zale. Thinking back on things, I'd probably keep the helical earrings on at this point. I did switch it out for a celestial ray for this, but I think having the better accessory being the helical earring equipped, that one would be a bit better. Well, now we're right in front of the boss slug. We're going to turn on Double Edge and Artful Gambit. And now once we're ready, we're going to save the game. We'll see how long it's taken me so far to get to this point. Once we save it, we can see it's taken about 25 minutes to get to this point. Let's run up and get into a fight with the boss slug. It should be noted that not all boss fights in this game count for this trophy, only certain ones do. So I'll show you the first 10 that you can get to. What you'll find is that these bosses are incredibly easy. There's a little bit of strategy that goes into these fights. Using Lunar Shield is really good. That way we can stop any damage coming into us for one attack. And early bosses tend to only use one attack. So here you can see it tries to hurt me, doesn't do any damage whatsoever. I can do tons of damage to him even with normal attacks or if I were to use my skills. And when you properly block an attack, you see it only does 1 damage, which is good because I only have double-digit HP. I don't have a lot to work with. But Reaper's Mercy is still really nice because even if this was to kill me, if I missed that block, I would only have 1 HP left instead of being killed outright. So that's handy. Let's go ahead and Sunball him, and that fight's over. So a very quick battle to get rid of the first boss, the boss slug. So that's 1 of 10 that we've defeated. After the fight, I would definitely recommend turning off those relics that we don't need on. That would be Double Edge and Artful Gambit. We'll just have to remember to turn them back on before the next boss. Speaking of the next boss, it's the Elder Mist. So we will turn on our 2 relics, the Double Edge and Artful Gambit relics. Now we're ready to go. We'll just do a quick time check here by saving it. So we're up to 40 minutes at this point, so first 2 bosses in under an hour. Alright, it's time to fight. What we want to do is attack his sword first. We just don't want any counterattacks that could be very dangerous for us. Not really sure how much damage he'll be doing to us because we're so high leveled and high equipmented, but we're just going to take that sword out anyway just for safety. Then we can Sunball his main body and that should be the end of the fight. I know a lot of people get intimidated when they think about what this trophy would entail, but it's actually way easier than you think it would be. It's hard if you do it at the end of the normal playthrough. It's very easy if you do it at the beginning of a New Game Plus playthrough. So now let's move on to our third boss. It would be Malcolmud and Rocky. What we're going to do is make sure that our relics are on, and then we'll go up and get into the fight. Something that bears repeating because we haven't seen it yet in one of the fights, but bosses are completely immune to damage when they're casting, which means if they've got these skill locks up, they won't take any damage. You've got to break through those first before you can do anything to them. So you can see that didn't work at all. He'll use Shovel Might to try to do some damage to Garl. I do block all 3 of them, so I only took 3 damage. Do a normal attack from Valere. Not sure why this did damage. I don't think it should have because he was casting something, but I'll take it. Now they're combined and we're going to attack with Garl, just a normal attack, try to get some more orbs on the ground. See, this didn't do any damage, so I don't know why there was damage from Valere. And I completely messed up the timing with this, but luckily I have so much armor on that it didn't kill me. I didn't even need Reaper's Mercy for that one. Being under 50% HP, Zale is in danger of dying here because Reaper's Mercy wouldn't activate, but luckily I got the good block down. And one attack from him, if I use a normal attack, it's going to refill all of my health thanks to that Leeching Thorn. So there you can see how the strategy plays out so that we really aren't in much danger throughout this whole fight. It's only if you're under 50% HP that you should really be worried. Here we have 2 swords and 1 sun. If your attack breaks all of their locks, it will still apply the damage at the end. So there you can see it's a good way to finish off the fight, and we're done with fight number 3. And Melkima tells us we're very strong, and he's right. Okay, the next boss is the Chromatic Apparition inside the abandoned wizard's lab. Let's go ahead and get started with this one. I think this fight is a lot easier than the Rocky and Melkima fight, namely because he doesn't like to use skills, he doesn't charge up, so he remains vulnerable the whole time. We'll just hit him with a strong sunball, that'll take out a good chunk of his health. While I did miss this block, it only attacks 1 party member at a time, and it didn't even do half of my health, so I'm still okay for using Reaper's Mercy if I need it, and we're just going to keep pummeling away at him, using those sunballs every turn with Zale. Boosting that sunball will do even more damage, and this fight should be over really fast. Alright, 4 down and 6 to go. I forgot to show the time that it's taken me to get to this point. It was 1 hour and 20 minutes. I just went back and double checked my footage. Next up is Romaya in the Necromancer's lair. We'll make sure that our relics are on, and then we'll go fight her. Romaya is also a very easy fight. She likes to, summon her little minions, but they're so easy, they're just standard enemies, and we're way overpowered for those. So using Lunar Shield is really nice because you can block her attacks. She really only does 1 attack at a time, so whether she is using her eyeball to try to hurt you, or even her ultimate attack, 1 cast of Lunar Shield will be enough to stop that. We're just going to spam our special attacks, namely Sunball and Crescent Arc. That's going to do a lot of damage to them, taking out those Bone Pile, Flesh Pile, any minions at the same time too. We'll just work on everything together, and this fight does not take very long. So make sure you're using that Lunar Shield to block her ultimate attack if that happens. Otherwise, just break locks, use skills, and try to beat her as fast as possible. And 1 more Crescent Arc will do it to end this fight, and we are halfway there. So at this point, we come to a decision point for ourselves. We can do 2 things. We can either continue on with the game, and we're going to beat the next 5 bosses, or what we can do is a special trick, and that would be going over to the save point here, and we're going to create 2 save files. We'll just save wherever we want to. So we'll do here, and we'll do the next spot as well, and we're at exactly 2 hours of time. Now what we can do is actually start a new game plus using one of these save files, and that's going to allow us to go back through the beginning of the game, beating the first 5 bosses once again, and that will count for the trophy. So the game already knows we've beaten 5. If we beat 5 more on New Game Plus, it's going to credit us again. So you can get this trophy in the minimum of about 4 hours of time. However, that wouldn't be so much fun for you to watch, so I'm going to do the next 5 bosses. starting with the Botanical Horror inside the Haunted Mansion. We're at 2 hours and 15 minutes at this point, so it only took me 15 minutes to get from the end of Romaya to the Botanical Horror. We'll make sure that our different relics are on, and then we'll go fight the Botanical Horror. This guy's a little bit tougher just because he has those tentacles, and if they're charging, we're not going to do any damage to them, so that isn't so great for us. However, we can take out the other ones pretty easily. I see a lot of those lunar symbols, so we'll use a Moonerang to try to take out some of those things, as well as the tentacles themselves. Really, once we get to the point where those tentacles are gone, he becomes very easy. When he's vulnerable, we can basically just kill him in one turn at that point. So I'll just let this one play out. There's not a lot of strategy other than make sure that you have some defense against that quill shot, because that can be really nasty, having multiple attacks come down on you at once. Alright, the tentacles are gone, his head is exposed. We'll use a boosted combo attack Soonrang to finish this fight. Just a couple minutes later, in the same location, we have the next boss, which will be the Dweller of Woe. This is another really easy fight. We not only have Brugaves and Erlina helping us, but the rune on the ground means that we'll be doing extra damage to it. So just hit it with your Solstice attacks, and this will be a pretty quick fight. Its big pain attack won't be enough to do a lot of damage to us. We should be fine with that even if we don't block it properly. However, there is something in phase 2 that we need to watch out for. So I'll tell you what that is when we get there. Otherwise, just enjoy the fight as it plays out. Okay, here's its ultimate pain attack. I was actually pretty worried about this one, but turns out those worries were not warranted because it didn't even do half damage to me. I'm still over half health. That was not a bad attack at all. There is, however, a much worse attack that we need to watch out for. And this is it. It's charging up just for one turn, and you'll see what that looks like. If I wanted to, I could have broken this one, but I wanted to chance it, and I get hit with the Spectral Scythes, and it does a lot of damage. If it weren't for Reaper's Mercy, I definitely would have lost right here. So thank you, Reaper's Mercy, for saving this run. And we're going to attack with Valere. You can see that she got full health just from that one attack. I did remove the Rune of Holding from Moraine, and that allows me to heal, but now I'm doing a little bit less damage. So next turn, I'll just put that rune back on and we'll continue our assault. So just watch out for that one attack. It can do a ton of damage, but Reaper's Mercy should keep you in the fight regardless. And then you can just heal immediately after it. So it's a pretty easy fight overall. Even though it's scary at times, you can recover very quickly thanks to the mechanics of this fight. Okay, I finished the Dweller of Woe in about 2.5 hours total, and now we're going to move on to the next boss, which will be Stormcaller. So here we are at Maelstrom Point, and we're right before the boss. We're going to go ahead and make sure that all of our different relics are on. We'll go ahead and save the game, and now we're up to about 2 hours and 50 minutes. So about 20 minutes after the Dweller of Woe is when we get to this part, and we're going to run up and get into a fight with Stormcaller. Stormcaller is not a bad fight overall. The main thing to worry about is that Ruler of Tides attack. If you get hit with that, remember you need to block 5 times, so if you do it properly, you'll only take 5 damage from that. Otherwise, hopefully you'll be saved by Reaper's Mercy. Just hit him hard really fast with all of your strongest attacks. Hit him with Sunball and Moonerang, any combo attacks that you can get up, and this shouldn't take too terribly long to beat. Certainly faster than the Dweller of Woe. I managed to beat Stormcaller at about the 3-hour mark, but there's a very long break between now and the next boss, which is going to be the Dweller of Torment at Torment's Peak. So you have to do a lot of things where you go and meet Rashan. You have to do all of his quests, go to Glacial Peak, do Dakari Village, Aunt Sudlo, everything like that. So we're now at about 3 hours and 52 minutes, so about 50 minutes or so until we get to the Dweller of Torment. This fight takes a while just because of the mechanics of it. You need to go through phase 1 where you can't do any damage to it. Then you'll have Sarai come in and you can start damaging his hands, knocking him down, and then doing a lot of damage to him. So overall, once we get to the part where we can damage him, it goes a lot faster. We can knock his hands down much quicker. We can do a lot more damage whenever we can attack his main body. So just do what you can to get through this fight, and then we will proceed on from there. After we beat the Dweller of Torment, we've beaten 9 out of the 10 bosses we need, so we're very close. The last one that we need to get is the Leaf Monster at the end of Autumn Hills. Luckily, there's not a huge gap between this fight and the other one. You can just go there in about 15 or 20 minutes or so, and then you should be at the boss fight. So we'll make sure that our relics are equipped, and then we are going to go up and do a quick time check here using the save point. You'll see that we're at the 4 hours and 14 minute mark. So just under 4¼ hours. Now let's go in and we'll fight the Leaf Monster. Again, this is a very easy fight for us to do. We just have to take it easy while he's invulnerable, while he has his leaves on. Just make sure that you're blocking the attacks. It shouldn't be too difficult for you. And then once he throws his leaves, then we can just unleash everything that we have on him. And it shouldn't take too long to get through this fight. His attacks are pretty easy to block, I find, and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort for you to get through this fight. Well, now that he's thrown his leaves, he's vulnerable, so let's hit him with everything that we've got. We want to make sure that we have lots of orbs on the ground so that we can absorb them and do a very powerful attack. We'll use Sunball because that's a pretty strong attack for us. We unfortunately don't have any combo pips just yet before I launch this attack, so we'll hit him with a fully boosted Sunball. It's going to put him into critical health. I realized after my walkthrough why he's flashing like this and why the end cinematic is the way that it is. It actually mirrors when you fight the same Leaf Monster in the game The Messenger. The fight plays out the same way. In fact, all of Autumn Hills is very similar, including the music and how you even progress through the level. It's really cool how they did that to stay faithful to The Messenger. So with just a little bit more, we will be able to take him out. Unfortunately, he pulled his leaves back to him a little bit earlier than I wanted him to, and we just have to wait for him to throw his leaves again, and then we'll finish this fight. Okay, here come the leaves. That means that he's vulnerable, so let's hit him with another fully powered Sunball, and that's going to do it for this fight. Upon defeating the Leaf Monster, we get 3 cool things. We get this nice little animation, which, as I said, mirrors what happens when you beat him in the game The Messenger. And we also get 2 trophies, the What a Technique trophy for beating 10 bosses with the Artful Gambic relic equipped, as well as the True Solstice Warrior Platinum trophy. We've gotten all the trophies in this whole game. So thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me. It's been a long go. It took about 40 hours or so of gameplay to get all of these trophies. Hopefully you found this guide series very helpful, and if you did, please leave me a like. Also, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more guides like this, and then share this video and comment down below letting me know that you got this platinum trophy and that I was able to help you with that. So again, thank you so much for watching and coming along with me. I really appreciate all the support, and I will see you very soon for the next series where we tackle Metal Gear Solid. Until then, have a good day.